Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic Friday. Whatever you are around the world, hopefully everyone's good, all well. And welcome back to yet another match preview show. Of course, it is Liverpool v Bournemouth. It is a very, very tough game. Of course, away from home, it is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a little bit nervous for this game because, again, look, it is a very difficult game to go away with. Again, Arsenal have dropped points away to Bournemouth, Manchester City, Chelsea, every top team. It seems like they have, either lost or they've dropped some sort of points against Bournemouth, and it is going to be a very, very tricky and difficult game tomorrow. Which, again, look, I'm very much. Again, excited to see the Reds play, but still also very nervous, obviously, for what we'll see tomorrow. Of course, anyway. But let me know how all of you are in the comments down below as well. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Do let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. Be very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts. As normal, of course, we'll talk, my thoughts on the game and, of course, get your guys' thoughts on as well. We'll be talking a little bit as well, of course, like I said, in terms of how good of a job Bournemouth have done. Again, we'll talk about, of course, what Arne Slot has had to say in his press conference earlier on. Of course, some good news, I think, in many ways, in terms of injury news, which, again, we'll get on to a bit later on as well. And, we're going to, before we do, though, talk all Liverpool-Bournemouth, of course, let's talk about Stefan Bajcetic. Obviously, we did a show last night speaking about Stefan Bajcetic, and, of course, obviously the low move now from coming back from Salzburg and now going back out on loan to Las Palmas. That has now been confirmed by Liverpool themselves. They've literally just confirmed it, I think, about 15 minutes ago, as time of recording of this as well. So, look, at the end of the day, I wish Stefan all the best for the rest of the season, and I hope now he will get a more consistent game time, a complete schedule now, hopefully, from now into the end of the season, and hopefully we'll get a better player at the end of the season as well, and we'll go from there, of course. Anyway, but of course that is the big news in that sense, in terms of, again, Stefan Bajcetic going to Las Palmas instead of Porto as well, which I think that would have been an interesting move as well. But look, at the end of the day, if Stefan Bajcetic thinks Las Palmas is the best move for him, then again, I am all for that. Anyway, but again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Stefan Bajcetic going to, of course, Las Palmas as well, on loan for the rest of the season as well. Anyway, but Gary, big up Gary, hope you're doing well. Saying Taylor O'Connor, would you sign Matthias Tell? No, not for me. I know, obviously, FM people, and of course, I know, obviously, plenty of people have been going on about him. Spurs obviously just got rejected, didn't they, today? Man United has been spoken about him. Chelsea as well, have also been rejected by him. I think Matthias Tell, I think, for me, he's a very young, promising talent. He looks good in certain aspects, but I do think, again, I don't think he's for Liverpool. And yeah, I wouldn't want to sign him personally for me anyway. But look, the rumored price tag is £60 million or 60 million euros. Again, what's that? If it's euros, it works out about 55 million pounds. Again, Liverpool, I don't think are wanting that. I think Arne Slot's been very open, I think, in interviews, and I think I think he was speaking with Gary Lineker, wasn't he, when he was speaking about the club supposedly are looking for the future and looking at signing players and getting things sorted for the summer transfer window, which is encouraging to hear. But I'm also in that sense of as well where we've been down that road before, where we've heard like, oh, Liverpool are gonna, Liverpool have got things lined up for the future, and then we end up hearing that, when it is the summer transfer window, we end up hearing the same stories of, oh, Liverpool are quite happy with this player or this situation or this or that. And it's, yeah, we've been here before. And I think, of course, actions speak louder than words, as of things right now. I know Paul Joyce has just come out with an article piece, again, banging on the drum that, everybody at Liverpool, considers that Van Dijk, is going to sign, or everybody is confident that Virgil van Dijk is going to re-sign. And, same probably with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah. I'm just sick of it right now. I'm sick and tired of the same, nonsense going around, in terms of Liverpool media, especially, when it's the same crap. I just want the three signed, now, and until we hear any bit of confidence in terms of, this player is going to sign tomorrow, this player, is having conversations with the club and this, that, and the other. I just want it, I just don't want to hear about it now, as well, because look, we've got a Premier League title to win, and that's the main important thing and the main focus thing, that should be in Liverpool season. But with me also saying that, look, we're at the end of January, going into February, and still there's no contracts being signed. That needs, again, addressing really quickly, for me anyway. But that's just my thoughts, in particular anyway. But which striker would you sign? I wouldn't know where to look for one, for being honest, Gary. I think it'll be interesting what Liverpool do in the summer, and what type of profile we'll go for. I think we're going to kind of go back to a false nine, to what Arne Slot kind of likes. Again, that's just my thoughts. Again, who is that type of player you could have? Of course, it could be like a João Pedro. It could be somebody else. I wouldn't be too surprised if Xavi Simons' name wasn't getting thrown around Liverpool in the summer. Of course, obviously him now moving to Leipzig, and Leipzig already, are thinking he's going to leave in the summer, which could happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool's name wasn't a part of that. Anyway, but getting on to, of course, Liverpool Bournemouth then. And speaking of Bournemouth, what an amazing job they have done this season. What an amazing job this man has done. Areola has been unbelievable, for them. Again, what are they? 10 games unbeaten, 11 games unbeaten, so far. Well, at the moment anyway, in the Premier League, they've been nothing short of on fire considering their injuries. And you've got to give them credit. Looking at it now, they played 23 games, 11 games won, 7 drawn, 5 defeats, 41 goals scored, 26 conceded, which of course is a plus 15, and they're currently on level points with Chelsea. Or they are 7th at the minute, but of course, if they was to beat us, they would get into the top 4. And looking at that top 4 race, it's a very, very close battle between all of them. You look at City, even Forest on 44 points, then City on 41, Newcastle on 41, Chelsea on 40, and Bournemouth on 40 as well. And considering where Bournemouth are in the table, you wouldn't think they've got a lot of injuries, but genuinely they have an awful amount of injuries at the present moment in time. I'm quickly checking to see how many they do actually have at the moment as well, because let me quickly check. Yeah, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got 9 players out at the moment injured, and they're pretty much all first team players that they would probably start. I do think that the centre back pairing that they've currently got is probably their main centre back pairing. Like I think is it Hodgson? I think he. I was laughing. I was laughing to somebody that, again, of course, he was at Juventus, wasn't he? And Juve, of course, are looking for a centre back that, again, is him, is the profile of him, and they had him, which I think is absolutely hilarious. But again, it's not only the defensive rate, of course. Obviously, we all know about Kirkez, who again has been linked to Liverpool over the last couple of weeks. But it's not only him. Cliver has stepped up massively the last couple of weeks. Semenyo as well has also been another player that stepped up for Bournemouth, which, to be fair to them, they have been, again, top quality. And again, they've got really, really great results lately, beating Forest 5-0, which, we knew how difficult it was breaking down that Forest team a couple of weeks ago. But again, they scored 5 against Forest, they scored 4 against Newcastle. They drew 2-2 to Chelsea. They beat Everton late on as well. They beat West Brom as well in the Cup. So they've been pretty good over the last couple of weeks. And considering, like I said, again, they've pretty much been without their key players this season, I think Areola's done a very, very good job. And I think if it obviously biased aside, I think if we were going to talk about a Premier League manager who deserves to be up there for manager of the season, I think he is the number one guy for it. Again, I think he's done a really, really good job. And if Forest do get if Bournemouth do get Champions League football, again, he deserves to be up there. Like him, Nuno as well. Obviously, putting the bias in there. Of course, I think Arne Slot should be in there for hopefully going on to win the Premier League. But I think this type of game, when we talk about Liverpool, when we did win the league title, back in 1920, the game against Villa, such a huge game for Liverpool. This is that type of game where you're coming up against a very, very good team, a team that's in form. At 3:00, it's going to be a tough place to go. Liverpool have done pretty decent away at Bournemouth over the years, but it could be a very, very difficult game tomorrow for us as well, considering again the amount of quality they have in that team. And again, we have to be on our A game, because if we're not on our A game, then we're going to end up losing tomorrow. And again, I think that's quite reasonable to say, at least anyway. But big up Hero as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Gary saying tough game. Hughes is probably rooting for them as well. I know, of course, Arne Slot did speak about earlier, didn't he, that Richard had built a very good team for Bournemouth, and he has done. Hopefully, he'll start building a good team for Liverpool in the future, at least anyway. But big up Cal as well, saying Liverpool to win 2-1 as well, 1-2. Yeah, I'd love that. If it was just a simple 1-0 win, I'd love that, because like I said, it is going to be a very tough game tomorrow. It's not going to be easy at all, and if Liverpool do win, that puts us 9 points clear of Arsenal, which, of course, Arsenal have got Manchester City. That game could go one way or the other. Like, again, Arsenal, based on form, they should beat Man City tomorrow, considering again City have struggled defensively and so on. But I also look at it and I go, that City team obviously getting confident against Chelsea. Now they seem to be quote back in that sense. But again, if Liverpool put the points on the board, and the fact that we're 9 points clear, that would be I think for Arsenal, I think the panic stations would step in terms of again where they turn around and go like, we need to get the win, we need to get 3 points. We've seen over the last couple of years where Arsenal and City games have become quite intense, because again Arsenal think there's some sort of rivalry there. City don't really care about Arsenal, let's be honest. They only care about Liverpool, which again this season, and there's Liverpool are so far gone they can't see us at the moment. But in terms of second place, Man City could beat Arsenal tomorrow, and it's not only them. Like I said, Forest could be up there then. But the main important thing, again, City would only be 3 points behind Arsenal if they were to beat them. Arsenal could easily lose another two games this season. City, we all know Man City normally go on, some sort of run towards the end of the season. Will they do that this year? I'm not so sure. But even still, Liverpool need to get the job done tomorrow because it is important. It is crucial. Even a point away to Bournemouth wouldn't be so bad if Arsenal lost. I think if Liverpool were to draw and Arsenal were to win, again, that would be kind of like that's kind of a not a great result then for us. But if we were to get the win and Arsenal lose tomorrow, again, that for the title, the fact that Liverpool could go 9 points clear with the game in hand, and the game in hand's coming up pretty quickly against Everton. The fact then we could go 12 points clear. Again, I think that then would just write the league off in that sense. Again, not saying it would be completely done because, of course, it's football. You never know what's going to happen. But the fact that Liverpool would be 12 points clear with 20, 23, 24 games gone in the season, again, that would be a very, very hard task to catch up. Liverpool would have to lose 4 straight games in a row, which, again, that, based off this season, isn't going to happen. And even based on last season, isn't going to happen, because Liverpool last season, even though I think we lost 4 games last season, 5 games. Again, it's only the last 10 games of last season where we completely fell off due to injuries. I do think this time round, again, the way we're playing, the more controlling we've been this season, I think will benefit us long term. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I think it would definitely, be that type of game, or the type of period where Liverpool can go on and, have the dominance against teams where they can relax and rest players and, kind of rest ourselves in that sense as well. But I think overall we need to, of course, keep the winning mentality going. And obviously, if we beat Bournemouth, ending their winning streak and winning away from home, that would be huge for Liverpool tomorrow, of course. But tough game. Hughes is probably rooting for them. I read that one out. Gary's going 2-0 Liverpool. Cam's gone 1-1 with Arsenal. We have the same amount of points for games as last season, plus 1 point as well as ratio. Hope we're doing well. Last season we won the next game too as well. That's good in many ways. But rather not think about the wheels falling off as well. I don't think they will. I think you have to be honest in the sense though that, again, you look at Liverpool last season. We did fall off the rails, because look at the amount of injuries we had. Arsenal, I love to see Arsenal fans complain all the time that they got injury problems. And then you look at Bournemouth, you look at, even Spurs, for example, who at the moment, they have no centre-backs available at the football club. I look at it and go, Liverpool had those injuries last season and competed for the Premier League title right until the end of the season. It was only the last, when we went away to Everton, was really the nail in the coffin where, everybody then knew, look, Liverpool are not going to do anything this season. But for me, the big thing this season compared to last year is we are more controlling in games. Like even against Ipswich, we never got out a second gear. Sorry, we never really. We never went full throttle. Then let's say that we got the goal. Obviously, Don Tobosley getting the goal that then kick-started everything going, but we didn't really again go up to a million miles an hour like we did over the years under Jurgen Klopp, where we would go heavy metal football, go 100 miles an hour, even though we could be 5, 6, 7 goals up, we'd still do the same thing. Like this year, we've become more controlling. And again, the Ipswich game was the most perfect example of it. Hello, Luke. But overall, Liverpool this season have been more controlling. We have been. Look, the data is there to prove that Liverpool have been a more controlling team, and that will benefit us long term. Like Arne Slot said today in his press conference, and speaking of the press conference, we'll get onto the injury news in a moment, but the biggest thing coming out of the press conference today, he said it. We rested the players early, like Van Dijk, Salah, Trent. We rested these players because, all right, it's not going to benefit them short term in terms of, again, a massive performance now against Bournemouth. But in the latter stages of the season, they're going to be able to benefit off not playing a full 90 minutes. Where last season, we'd end up bringing players back way too quickly. We've done that at parts this season where we've brought Jota back way too quickly at times. Ibu, again, we brought him back way too quickly. And, we've game managed him, a little bit over the last few weeks as well. And we've kind of been fortunate for that. And even now, when we talk about, the injury update from Slot, again, confirming that Joe Gomez, Darwin Núñez, and Diogo Jota are back in training, which is great news. Of course, Joe Gomez, I think, was in full training, wasn't he, for PSV, but of course didn't travel away at PSV. But again, him being back is huge news for Liverpool in terms of rotation with Ibu Konate. Diogo Jota having him back as well, that's another huge player to have back, and Darwin Núñez from illness. Obviously, the only player currently out at the moment is Curtis Jones. You hope, of course, Slot spoke about it, what was it, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, where he didn't expect him to be available for Ipswich, PSV, and the Bournemouth game. I think it'd be very interesting now for midweek. Will Curtis be available or not? And I think he probably won't be available for the Spurs game. He'll probably be available for the weekend game that we've got coming up as well. So it's great news that we got players back. Everybody's fit apart from Joe Gomez, apart from Curtis Jones, as well. No, Joe Gomez is back fit and available, but that's a big boost for Liverpool. And of course the overall team itself as well, which look, we can now afford to, hopefully Liverpool are 3 goals up, for example. We can rest Ibu, you can rest other players as well. You can rest Luis Diaz, you can rest Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez. That's the main important thing, is rotation with this Liverpool team. Anyway, of course, and plus having Chiesa come into the team and other bits and pieces, I think that is a great thing to have realistically. Anyway, but let me know your starting predictions anyway, chat, down below. This is from my team that I've picked. Again, I know it's got Costa Tsimikas in it, and most likely Andy Robertson's going to start, but this is the team I would like Liverpool to play for tomorrow. I've gone Arsene in goal, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, and Tsimikas, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Salah, Núñez, Gakpo. That would be my team for tomorrow. I think I would be very intrigued to see who does play in the front three. I do think even Luis Diaz could be in the false 9 again. But I also do think hopefully we'll have, we'll have some positive news in terms of, again, that team anyway, but we'll have to wait and see, at least anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, in the comments. But Hero says, how many times have we won from losing positions this season? I would probably think a lot this season. Hello, Luke. Sack him tonight. Goal ratio says, last season, after 22 games, we had 51 on top of the table. This season, we have 53 points on top as well, which is, great in that sense as well. Left back change, and that's about it for Hero. Last season we lost games 23. This season we will win as well. Núñez won't start. Diaz didn't get minutes against PSV. Neither did Darwin Núñez. To be fair, Carl, Darwin Núñez did. Obviously, he got an illness, didn't he? So I don't know. I think it would be interesting though, because I agree. I think probably most likely we do see probably Luis Diaz in the false 9. That's been the tried and tested, front three for Arne Slot this season. But again, I think, the confidence from the Brentford game, hopefully, with Darwin Núñez, that obviously progressed a lot more. But maybe, again, maybe Arne Slot's thought process is we're going to use Darwin Núñez more of a, if Liverpool need it, we can use him as that game-changing striker, to get us the goals, because, the Brentford game, came on, got 2 goals. Even in the Champions League game against Lille, he had a very, very good game. Of course, didn't get a goal, but still had a very good game. And I'm hoping, again, once he gets more in the team, that's the positive thing, where you hope that he gets confidence enough to have at least a good game. And if he can get a goal or assist from that, that'd be great for Darwin. But yeah, I think obviously the two that I think I would agree with you is maybe it might be Luis Diaz for Darwin, and then obviously Rob over Costas in my team anyway. But look, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool for my score prediction. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy game tomorrow. You're most likely looking at Villa away all over again. Hopefully it's not Liverpool conceding and then we're trying to chase the game. But yeah, I think, Arne Slot said today, didn't he, that, this Bournemouth team is a very, very good team. What he's seen of them, so far this season, and just seeing the overall team and seeing how they develop. Again, you've seen how great they have been this season, and even still, like I said, they've taken points off City. They've beat City, they've beat Arsenal. I think they beat Chelsea at home as well. They've taken big points of big teams this season, and hopefully, Liverpool are not the next team to do that. At least, anyway, I don't think so. Anyway, but look, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. But if we can get it, get the 3 points, that would be a huge statement. The fact that Liverpool have gone there and beat Bournemouth, that would be huge, and I think even Arne Slot said in the game, at Anfield earlier on in the season, even though the scoreline was 3-0, the game was very, very close in that sense as well. So I hope that, Liverpool get the job done, and hopefully we will see, Liverpool beat Bournemouth tomorrow by, hopefully another 3-0, but I've gone 2-1 for me. I think I'm going to go Mo Salah. I'm going to go Virgil van Dijk to get the goals for Liverpool. That's for me anyway, my thoughts with that anyway. But look, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, of course. Anyway, we'll be live, of course, after the game tomorrow for the post-match reaction, probably 5 p.m. We'll most likely be live or live around then. Anyway, well, make sure you are tuned in. Make sure you are hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button as well. If I can get my bloody words out, that'd be great if I could do that. But look, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the match preview, at least anyway, for just the four or five people that have been in here. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always anyway. But look, like I said, post-match tomorrow, we'll have a special show on Sunday now, because now that I'm back, actually not ill so much, I can actually edit stuff. So hopefully, we'll be a special video out on Sunday for you guys anyway. And make sure you are tuned into the channel. We're gonna try and get more people on as well. Try and, not just my stupid thoughts, get other people on as well, get their thoughts on as well, and try and get, guests on as well. Hopefully I can do that for you guys anyway, but again, can't promise everything, unfortunately, which is a shame anyway. But if you are new around here, of course, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys all tomorrow for the post-match reaction against Bournemouth anyway. But until next time, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.